always want to do some research on what is the minimum viable dose, not just from the sport supplement website, but from PubMed. You can find those, or examine.com does a great job at breaking some of those things down of what the needs are for certain supplements to actually create the response that you're going for.
Welcome to Game Changers, Athlete Edition. I'm Courtney Harmon, a former Division I softball pitcher turned high-performance business coach who knows what it takes to translate athletic mindset into real-world success.
And I'm Julie Jones, a Hall of Famer and former Division I head coach with more than 20 years of experience turned mental performance coach. Together, we bridge the gap between elite athletics and lifelong achievement, helping you unlock your full potential on and off the field. This podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, motivation, amazing guests, and actionable insights to help you elevate your game.
You just talked about Gatorade, and I'm going to switch gears because this is something that's often overlooked. What role does hydration play in this whole gamut of things?
Yeah, the easiest way I like to explain hydration is think of muscle as in food. So we have cow, we have red meat, we have filet mignon, right? We can all picture what filet. It's soft, it's juicy, it tastes really good. We have beef jerky sitting next to it. It's stiff, rigid, hard, still tastes good, but it's a completely different experience. Just as if it would be in your calf as you're getting ready to run or have been running for a long time. What muscle tissue quality do you want inside your body as you're performing your engagement, your sporting engagements? You want the filet. What's the difference between a filet and beef jerky? The hydration of that meat source. That's it. And having adequate hydration is very important. And making sure that you don't pee a lot, don't drink a lot at any one time, which would imply that you're drinking all day long, which would imply that make it cool for yourself to carry a water bottle around, because that's a long-term transferable, successful process for you to have and do the rest of your life. I've had a couple of things that I've carried around. My very first carry around water bottle was a Nalgene. It was green. We unfortunately lost it to TSA because they were being really stubborn with the water protocols and they wouldn't just dump it out and give me the bottle. They were like, well, you got to take it all the way back through and start over again. It's like, we got to leave in a little bit. Like, why are you being so unruly? It's just water, pour it out. Like, where's the drain on the backside? We travel a lot. So we lost that. Unfortunately, it was a sad moment as I saw it just sit there and going to get thrown away. So what a waste. But and the one that I have now is a red container. It's 40 ounces, called my fire extinguisher, my fire hydrant. And it's got a loop on it, and it's got a screw cap, and it's steel, double-walled steel, whatever. I got it at Walmart for $10, and I've been carrying it for, 10 years. So reduce, reuse, recycle, everyone, right?
Is there a rule of thumb how much water someone should be drinking based on their weight?
Yeah, they always say the 50% of your body weight, but I always like to round up because I want hydration to be important. I also want hydration to be a filling strategy for, say, any of my clients, but my adult clients who are trying to lose weight, in a sense. If I can get them to drink an extra 20 or 30 ounces of water, liquid, tea, or coffee in their day, it's going to fill them up that much more and help them control their portions, control their fullness, and control how well they feel, because the body is mainly made up of water and we want to make sure we're doing it. Let's give some stats. I'd say if maybe you are, again, we're talking about athletes, I don't see even male or female, even the most petite, drinking under 80 ounces. Like 100-pound cross-country female should probably be drinking 80 ounces or more of water throughout the day to help make sure that she prioritizes that hydration. Now, if it's in the cold winter and you really don't move that much, maybe you could go a little less, but I would say 80 would be a minimum, and then we could go up to a gallon. If you're drinking over a gallon, you just need to know why. We don't just need to drink a gallon because it's cool. But if it's a hot night, it's been 85, 90 here in Ohio. And if you're going to go train for an hour out in it, sure, you should probably drink a gallon of water today to stay hydrated, for sure. And it doesn't have to be just plain water. It can be flavored water. There's little water flavoring droplets. You don't really have to put a lot in to get it to just be an enjoyable experience for you to drink the water. Again, we have a trigger. If I flavor the water with fruit or with, say, cucumber, if I want to go spa-like experience, or the flavor drops like a Mio, or I take a Gatorade Zero and I do a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio, or seltzered water or flavored seltzered water. You can cut those in a sense. Kids love going to the grocery store, and every time they go with Papa, they know they can usually get a seltzered water, flavored water out of them, because they're 59 cents, and it keeps them busy, something to look forward to and all. And but we can take that, and it's 24 ounces, and I can put all 24 ounces into, say, 24 to 40 ounces of water, and it's good. The same experience, you're going to have the same experience by diluting it and cutting it a little bit as just straight out of the container. So it's a really good, easy way to take all those different methods to make it enjoyable. Put a tea bag in your water. Great. You'll have the eucalyptus flavored something at 3 p.m. instead of just plain water.
What are your thoughts on electrolytes? That's my last question, Julie, for water. I promise.
No, water is vital. Yeah.
Like, right. I'm a sucker. At one point in time, I was buying Element packets. But what are your thoughts on the electrolyte packets for the water?
Yeah, the internet got to you, huh? All the YouTube ads, totally. and
but I love the
influencer
flavor.
podcast. Yes. If it'll go on a spectrum, the more intense, longer duration, the more likeliness, and then the heat. Obviously, the temperature and the intensity, the more turned up those are, the more you need electrolytes. If you're just doing winter baseball practice, you probably don't need electrolytes. You just drink your water and you're good, because there's electrolytes in the food that we eat. It's just vitamins and minerals. With those electrolyte supplements, I already talked about Gatorade, but I don't perceive Gatorade to be the best one. And I don't believe it to be a reason to drink Gatorade, because especially the sugar content. There's the bigger 32-ounce one. That one has 50 grams of sugar. That's not good. That is not good. A Gatorade Zero, or why can I not think of it? The Power. What's the other brand? Powerade. Yeah, why couldn't I think that? The Powerade Zero. Cool. Those are great ways to get some in, but again, their electrolyte profile is going to be varied from something like Element or Liquid IV or None, the NUUN, those capsules, the little pills that you put in the water and they dissolve, or the tablets, I should say, or even Emergency. I've actually settled on Emergency through all of those and just looking at it, because if you look at the back of the box, there's a lot of different vitamins and minerals, like a crazy amount, whereas Element only has 4. And it costs over $1. It's $1 a stick. Whereas the Emergency, the last known time that I did, it was 33 cents a pack. And I can use that to flavor my 40 ounces of water. So I fill up my 40-ounce water, I pour one of those things in, and I drink all 40 ounces, and it makes it an enjoyable experience to consume that and get those in. But I think we're going to go to settle on, should we have electrolytes or not? The duration, the intensity, the heat is going to be the bigger determining factor of if you need them or not.
Yeah. We appreciate that you're giving examples of options, because I would never have thought about Emergency as something to flavor my water, nor would I have thought electrolytes, nor would I have thought it would even be helpful to me. But I think that like these little tips really, I mean, that's so easy.
It is.
or a cross country kid to throw in his or her water
Mm-hmm.
bottle, or a swimmer, or
Yep.
any a football player who's out there in this in
Mm-hmm.
August training, or soccer big time.
Yep. Totally.
Training is tough, or summer track. So like those kinds of things are really, really important. Our track coach at Akron, he's now at Illinois, great guy, Dennis Mitchell, would talk about the fact that if you are 2% dehydrated, your performance decreases by 10%.
Yeah,
And
I would agree.
And most people are way more than 2% dehydrated
Sure.
at the ready.
They're walking around like SpongeBob in the Sahara.
Yeah. Yeah. Most people, because the old adage, if you're thirsty, you're dehydrated.
Yes. Oh yeah. You're already past that point. Yeah. Small. I ran with Dennis when I was in freshman year, and Scott Jones was the cross country coach for Akron when I ran. Yeah.
Yes. And then Lee LeBady came in, and he had Clayton Murphy and all they've got the University of Akron track team has been amazing, but they drank beetroot after the CrossFit. Lee LeBady had them drink beetroot after every training to recalibrate or whatever. But those guys, if you want to learn about hydration management, go talk to a distance coach.
Oh, of course, right? Because
they are like
you're sweating so much, especially the amount of a distance track coach is putting on their guys is a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
But kids, going back to kids, I listen to kids, they're going to be distracted. They're not going to think about it. And then they chug a bunch, and then they're peeing a bunch. And then there's this negative impact to, I drink water, I have to pee like crazy. My buddies are making fun of me now or something.
Yeah.
Or I can't play a whole match of Fortnite because I got to pee again.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I will say this one thing, just with the timing of it. If you were to drink 80 ounces, we'll just keep it with that as the least amount, 80 ounces across 16 hours with 8 hours of sleep, that's 5 ounces an hour. That's not going to send you to the bathroom all day long. Right. If you do a good job of pacing it out, then you will manage the potty breaks as well.
Yeah, great point. Since we're talking about elements and emergency, let's talk about supplements.
Yeah.
What supplements are on the good list? What supplements are on the if you do this, you're going to screw yourself up list? Are these you think these are performance enhancing, but they're not?
Right. First and foremost, you would always want to do some research on what is the minimum viable dose, not just from the sport supplement website, but from PubMed. You can find those, or examine.com does a great job at breaking some of those things down of what the needs are for certain supplements to actually create the response that you're going for. Great ones to have just a men's or women's 1-a-day multivitamin. It just covers the bases. You just checks a box, right? If your body needs it or doesn't, it'll just be out what it doesn't, and it's a minimal cost, right? Going on the other supplements that would work really well are fish oils, omega-3s. I'm a big fan of Stronger, Faster, Healthier brand. It's a liquid. That one has in a teaspoon has 35 milligrams of 35 milligrams of 35 geez, oh Pete, 3,500 milligrams, 35 grams, there we go, 3,500 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined, that's a very potent amount in such a small amount. Generally, you're going to see at least 1,000 to definitely 2,000 is a good range, depending again on size and age and different uses of omega-3s. But that's an anti-inflammation. That would be a really good one to have. From there, we can think of if you're a strength athlete or just an athlete in general, creatine is very well respected. It's well studied for decades, and it has a lot of strength benefits. It has a lot of other now more founded cognitive benefits as well. There's no reason why 5 grams of creatine could be put into your day to day. Do you need to get the hyped up super one that has neon in the bottle or something? No, you just get the good old creatine monohydrate at the cheapest price you can find it, because it's all the same. It just depends on if the bag has colorful marketing on it or it's a plain white bag. I buy the plain white bag. That's a minimal servings. It's a 6-month supply and 5 grams a day. Boom, off I go. Protein supplementation. It's going to be an easy one there. Say emergency to cover some of the other electrolytes or whatnot. But after that, there isn't necessarily a definitive anything that's going to give you a boost of performance and effort. Again, unless you want to spend a lot of money, because you think that this thing, that even pre-workout, you don't need to buy a $40 thing of pre-workout. You can buy like coffee. You drink coffee, maybe not for the high schoolers that haven't acquired the taste yet, but caffeine works really well. And even if you wanted to use and leverage caffeine, which would be a very good one, regardless of, again, we'd go to the age and the duration of the performance and the effort there, what type of sport it is, then caffeine could be a really good enhancement for you to be able to, your rate of perceived exertion lowers when you are stimulated. When I did triathlons, I would have 100 milligram caffeine pills, one 30 minutes before or an hour before, one right before, one right after I got out of the water, and run one as I was getting ready to end my cycling and go into the run. I was doing Olympic distance, so I still had another 40 minutes of running. And that the caffeine just kept boosting my energy in a sense, and stimulated and helped me push through where I may have started to, slip with that mindset edge, because I just started feeling tired. So that perceived exertion can be really helpful. 50 to 100 milligrams could be a reasonable supplement amount depending on what it is. And that could be seen in a small, like a pill or a Coke or something. I wouldn't, again, say drinking sugar and stuff as a form. Everyone will be like, oh, I don't want to drink Coke because of the caffeine. Like, I think it's the sugar that's more the issue than you being you stimulated by the 40 grams of caffeine that are in there or whatever, or a bag of tea. Like, that's not really going to give you that perceived energy. But a cup of coffee or a shot of espresso, it's going to be 100 grams, pretty good. Energy drinks, they can range. You have to look at the label. They can range from 100, 125. Say the one that comes to my mind, I don't know if it's still on the market, but when I looked, it was the Mountain Dew one, the Mountain Dew Rise or whatever it was. They had 125 grams of caffeine in it. And even some of the monsters, especially, again, we want to go with the 0 caloried ones, not the sugared enhanced caloried ones, to use that as a enhancement. But some of them had 300 milligrams in them. And then all of a sudden and then kids, again, aren't paying attention. It's all the rage to drink, to be sitting in a chair all day and drink your monsters as you play video games. And the human body can tolerate up to, say, 400 milligrams or so. And after that, it gets off the rails. And you really can create some illness and some significant issues in your body if you overstimulate, right? Just from the jitters, but it can go worse if you do that. So you want to pay attention to how much caffeine are in some of those to not overdo it. But those are going to be the main supplements that I would send anyone to. After that, you have to have clear reasons why you're taking it, whether it's from the doctor and you actually get blood panels, right? You don't need to take a vitamin D necessarily if, one, you're outside and you're training, or if you just don't have vitamin D issues. But you would need to go get a blood test for that. And so when people ask me, what supplement should I take? Well, if you actually want to run a blood panel for us to see where you're actually deficient in, then we can do that, but there's time and energy and effort costs to that. And then you got to go buy the supplements if for whatever those are. Or we could just take a multivitamin, just call it even, and let's work on our food and our planning and our preparation and our executing first and foremost before we go do a blood panel. It doesn't make sense in the order priority or hierarchy. Doing that doesn't make any sense, or even buying supplements in general from the get-go doesn't make sense.
Well, but it seems easier, and I think that's why people jump in.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
glad you mentioned the energy drinks, and I know you have an appointment here in a few minutes, but the energy drink thing is such a big deal because some of them are not even legal in the NCAA, right? So there's
Sure.
there's a reason that they decide what you can and can't do,
Right.
wise, health wise, all these different things.
Right.
But so 50 to 100 milligrams, you're talking a cup of coffee or an espresso. And if they don't like coffee, then a different way to get some caffeine. Right. Like 50 milligrams would be like 3 sips of a Monster drink.
Probably. Well, if it's 300, say the can has 300 in it, so 50% is 150.
Yeah.
25% of it's 75. A quarter of the can, that's 1 or 2. Is it go? There you go. You're already there.
Yeah, right. So when we go to, and you said the body can only withstand 400 milligrams or grams or whatever you said, but the bottom line is that is pushing us past our threshold. Add in the arousal level that we get with our fight or flight, and now we're playing out of our arousal zone. So we're really hampering and hindering our ability to stay present and focused and in our proper, individual zone of function.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the mental performance side of it, by introducing this drink that is just throwing us over the edge.
Sure.
And now we can't get our heart rate down and we can't get our focus.
Right. And heart rate variability is super important in being able to control that. If you can, I would definitely know. I just a week ago, I watched I cannot remember her name. She ran 406 mile Kenyan. Crazy. I wish I remembered her name. I just cannot place it, but she's a renowned runner. She needs the lowest heart rate possible at the fastest maximal speed. Giving her a stimulant on top of that is not going to get her to a 359. Right. So her training, her mental psyche, the pacing, the wind, all these other things are going to help. And that might just push her over and actually cause her to run slower because it's overwhelmed her body.
Right. And I think that's so important for us, for young people to understand, is what you put in your body affects your movement. Right. It affects your cognitive ability. It affects your heart rate. It affects your, if the game is sped up or slowed down. All of these things affect us physiologically and our mental game. So, looking at how to fuel, what to avoid, what to add in. Yeah. I think there's some really good information that we went over today. Yeah. Some things that I never really thought of. And I'm going to go back real quickly to eat meals. I'm a snacker midday.
Yeah.
And I know that's bad. And I now am committing to eating a lunch.
Eating a lunch.
I eat a nice big breakfast. I've got no problem with that. I have a very nutritious dinner, but I eat pretzels and fruit and snacks like graze.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat meals.
Eat a meal. Yep. Eat a meal.
I'll hold you to that, Julie. I'll hold you to that.
Some takeaways on food as we wrap. Things beforehand. We're thinking about, like I said, graham crackers. It could be pretzels. It could be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It could be a granola bar, like a chewy Quaker Oat one, a Cliff Bar. You could do a protein bar, but it's fine. A piece of fruit and some peanut butter. Like those are really good food, easy things to add to get calories, to get some carbs, to get something in you an hour beforehand. And then if you were actually performing, then you could have a simpler sugar right before to be able to induce that. Again, if you were actually playing a longer duration event, then you would want that, or want that in the game as well, the activity, the training. But if you're just playing baseball, again, it just doesn't, or softball, as you both had, it just isn't necessary, because you're not, the amount of effort isn't necessarily there to need the extra calories per se. And you can just fit all your calorie needs in normal eating windows in the day, and just have a good sized lunch, train at 3 o'clock, and have a good sized dinner. And you don't have to worry about that on a typical train, or even maybe a game, because again, in that type of sport, you're not moving that much per se.
Right.
Well, Brian, this was incredible. Thank you so much. So many
Yeah.
key takeaways, practical advice,
Yeah.
and what you really told our audience is it doesn't have to be complicated. It's
No.
about consistency. It's about timing,
Yes.
sustainable habits to give you long-term, not only athletic success, but long-term success in life.
Agreed.
So thank you for taking the time to chat with us
Yeah.
today.
And if you would to find Brian, brianparana.com.
Yes.
And that's your website.
Yep.
And
I have
anything on
a-
social that we should follow?
Yeah, it's something that we could give here as a intro if you're interested. I have a 30 tips in 30 days, really easy, simple, actionable sequence, that email sequence that you can get on and implement every single day. And even if you only did 50% of them, you're going to have a tremendous difference. There's recipes, there's prompts, there's workouts, there's all sorts of just these tips and little things that I've picked up from coaching people. So I'll drop that as well for you.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Right.
We'll put
That's
that in the
perfect.
show notes.
Yep.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us on Game Changers Athlete Edition. Remember, champions aren't born. They're built through dedication, perseverance, and the right mindset. If you found value in today's episode, share it with a teammate, with a coach, or someone who could benefit from this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on social media for exclusive content and daily motivation. Until next time, keep pushing your limits and stay focused on becoming the game changer you're meant to be.